Hi folks, I'm Bob Main from the Handgun World Show, and the reason I carry a gun is because I can't carry a cop, which you've probably heard me say a lot of times if you've been listening to my podcast at handgunworld.com. Anyway, I'm going to do a review of my Smith and Wesson Bodyguard 380. This is the third 380 pistol that I own. I like these pocket pistols, what can I say? I was looking for an affordable 380 that I thought was usable and that had good sights and everything, and I settled on the Bodyguard. I'm probably going to get rid of one of my other 380s, probably my SIG P238, because I'm not as fond of it as I am of this Smith and Wesson and my car P380. Now, there are some negatives to this pistol, and I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to give you as honest and objective as a review as I possibly can. So here goes. All right. First of all, let me bring the Bodyguard 380 into the picture, show you that this is an unloaded and a safe and clear weapon, and the magazine is also unloaded. Let's dry fire this to show you that this is a safe and clear pistol. Okay. Now that we've got that out of the way, got all the safety stuff done. The first thing that I want to talk about on the Bodyguard 380 are the sights. It has very usable sights. And without pointing this gun at myself, let's see if I can get you to get a close-up here or see a close-up of the rear sight and, of course, the front sight. It's a good sight picture. Now, one of the things I like about the real sights, as you know, most 380s have these humps on the frame that they call sights. That's ridiculous. Those are not sights. Now, I've had people say to me, well, Bob, you don't really need to have sights on those little 380s because those things are belly guns. You know, they're from bad breath distance, and you're probably going to be point shooting most of the time. True. That could be true. You could be point shooting most of the time. But if you do need to use the sights, what I like about it is it has very usable sights. So kudos to Smith and Wesson for that. Also, if you look at the controls on the side of the pistol, I'm very impressed with one of them and not so impressed with the other. The slide release right there is in a real good spot. I can reach that with my thumb very nicely. I don't like that safety. First of all, I don't think that the manual thumb safety is necessary. On a pistol like this, it has a very long, hard, double action trigger. I don't see any need for this stupid manual thumb safety. In my opinion, why does a gun like this with a long, hard, double action trigger pull? Folks, there's no way to fire this gun by accident. I mean, even if you get some clothing or something stuck in your pocket, this trigger, some people might think it's a real hard trigger. It's not that bad. It's very manageable. I've shot over 300 rounds with this pistol now, and I've had no problem with the trigger. It's all practice and what you get used to. By the way, this is the only pistol that I own that does not have a 1,000-round trigger job, meaning I haven't shot it 1,000 rounds yet. So a little over 300, I'm pretty close. By the way, sorry about the lighting here. I'm in a hotel room, and I'm on a business trip, and the hotel room lighting here is terrible. Plus, these walls are ugly. These things are yellow. So that's why we got kind of a yellow tint to this video. So again, I don't like the safety. I also don't particularly like the laser buttons. As you know, this is an integrated laser right here. And, of course, here's your laser right there in front. I don't like those buttons. They're much too hard to push, and I think it's just not very intuitive. I mean, I've got to go ahead and I've got to reach out here with my index finger to push to turn the laser on. Now, I can reach it. Some people might not have fingers as long as mine. I can reach it no problem. I would prefer to have the laser on the front strap like a Crimson Trace. It's much more intuitive. So I don't like that about it. The thing about these sights that I do like, see if I can let you see that, they are dovetailed, especially the front sight there, so it's real easy to change these out. And from what I understand, XS is making the big dot sight system for this pistol, and I'm probably going to put the XS big dots on here. That way I'll have night sights, true night sights with a nice big dot. For a gun like this, I'm probably not going to be doing some precision shooting. However, if I do want to take a precise shot, you can still pull it off with the big dots. It takes some practice, but again, like I mentioned, the sights on here are perfectly usable. I mentioned already the trigger, but I really like the trigger. It's got a smooth face to it, which I really like. It's a smooth trigger, even though it's kind of stiff. It's smooth all the way through, even though it's kind of a hard trigger pull. I also like the shape of the grip. That front strap right there, here's a better way to look at it. That front strap, the way that that's shaped right there is perfect for my hand. I can get these two fingers on it, no problem. I've got kind of large hands anyway. My hands make this pistol look pretty small, but I can get these two fingers, which are the most important fingers, right around that grip, and mainly this lip, this extended magazine piece right here on the extension. That makes a huge difference. It's not flush with the base of the magazine, which I hate. I can get both of these fingers on there. Some guns you can't. I don't mind with the pinky dangling like that. That's okay, because I can get a good enough grip with these two fingers. I'm okay with that. It's also got enough of a little beaver tail back here to prevent any kind of slide bite. And it also, for me, helps tame the recoil just a little bit. If you see the way that fits my hand, I can get a high grip on it. I can get up here on top of the pistol, high up on the tang like I can with a Glock. I can keep that bore axis low, which I like. I like the low bore axis of it. It helps to control recoil. For me, that I can control it a lot better when I can get that high grip, and when that slide goes back, as you can see, there's plenty of room right there where I'm not getting any slide bite, but I'm still getting the low bore axis. This gun also seems to be very tight. There doesn't seem to be a lot of play in it, which I like. It's, it seems to be pretty tight fitting. The tolerances are pretty good. The other thing I like about this gun is that it points very naturally. It's got a natural feel to it. Now, one of the negatives I noticed right away when I got this pistol, the Smith and Wesson Bodyguard 380, it's very slippery. I don't know if you noticed while I've been doing this video, but I've had this textured. I had Dale Honeycutt from GripReductions.com. He followed the factory outline, but he gave it a nice texture. It's rough enough. I'll let you see the front strap. It's rough enough to where I can get a good grip on it, but not too rough to where it hurts my hand. So he textured both sides of the grip. There's a good way. You can see it pretty well that way. And let me see if I can turn it over here so you can see the texturing. You see how he followed the factory outlines? And he even textured the back strap a little bit. If you take a look there, you can see where he textured the back strap. So he did some nice texturing as well as on the magazine extension. That helps me get a nice firm grip. These little 380s, they recoil enough, especially with hot loads, you don't want the thing slipping in your hand. I live in Texas, in South Texas, in the summertime when it's over 100 degrees and I sweat and my hands get a little slippery. This texturing on here definitely keeps it from slipping too much in my hand. I also want to compliment Smith and Wesson, what they did right here with the takedown lever. The takedown lever is very easy to use. It's placed in a good spot. It's easy to take this down. I'm not going to do a field strip of it right now. I might do another video for that. But again, I want to compliment them on doing a good job with that. And I also want to compliment them on the serrations on the back of the slide. Those serrations right there on the back of the slide make it real easy to grab this pistol and rack the slide if you have to. So I really like that, and being able to slingshot at home like that makes it easy as well. It's a small pistol, but it doesn't have a small pistol feel. That's one thing that I really like about it. It's got a larger pistol feel. I think this gun could have been an absolute home run if the laser buttons weren't so hard to push and if it was more intuitive. In other words, if the activation button was built into the grip. Having said that, I don't really foresee myself using this laser very often anyway. Because of the good sights on the pistol, and especially if I put some decent night sights on it, you know, between that and learning how to point shoot, I think I'm going to be fine with it. I have heard that you can get different buttons, that Smith and Wesson for free will send you some different buttons to make the laser a little bit easier to activate. I'm going to call Smith and Wesson and talk to them about that. Matter of fact, doing this video has reminded me that I probably should get on that and get on that fairly quick and put some different buttons on there. At least that way it's going to be a little bit easier for me to activate. 380 caliber with the right ammo, I think it'll get the job done. And let me show you the pocket rig. This is just an Uncle Mike's holster that I've had modified. I had a canvas piece put on the bottom of this, okay, to create a little bit more stability in the pocket. And then I had the same guy stitch it so that it fits the shape of the gun. So let's put that in there. Okay, and that's what it looks like inside of my modified Uncle Mike's holster. Now there's several pocket holsters that you can use for this pistol. Somebody told me that if you buy a DeSantis Nemesis for a Ruger LCP with a Crimson Trace laser, that this pistol fits in there nicely because it's made, the holster will be made for the integrated laser of the Ruger LCP. I think I'm probably going to try that because I'm not 100% satisfied. Although this is kind of a quick fix, I'm not 100% satisfied with this holster. So there you go. There's my objective review of the Smith and Wesson Bodyguard 380. It's my second favorite pocket size mouse gun that I have. I still like my Car P380 the best, but I think this Smith and Wesson is a better buy than many of the other 380s out there. I think it's a better gun than the Ruger LCP, better than the Kel-Tec P3AT because of the sights and the overall feel of the gun. And the value, it's hard to beat the value. I mean, I paid less than $400 for this gun, considerably less than $400. I can't say that I did that well with my Car P380. I got my Car P380 shortly after they first came out, and I paid a lot more than what they're going for now, but they're well over $400. So consider the Bodyguard 380. I don't think you'll go wrong with it. It's a real good gun. It's backed by a lifetime Smith and Wesson warranty, and that speaks a lot for itself as well. Thanks again for watching. Hopefully this was informative for you. Again, if you haven't had a chance yet, let me invite you to listen to my weekly firearms podcast called The Handgun World Show, and you can find it at handgunworld.com, or you can search Handgun World on iTunes. Thanks very much for watching.